Hello and welcome to Smart Profit AI, the show where we dive deep into challenges, strategies, and game changing ideas shaping the future of learning. I'm Anika, and each week I sit down with innovators, coaches, and tech leaders who are tackling the toughest challenges in education and professional development. Today, we are exploring a topic that almost every early stage founder has faced: the hidden cost of a DIY tech fixes in online learning startups. When resources are tight and speed matters, many founders take the DIY route to get their platforms up and running. But what does that really mean in cost, in terms of growth, scalability, and learner experience? To help us unpack this, I'm joined with Alan, the founder of The Chinese Writer, a startup working to make learning Chinese more creative and accessible. Alan, welcome to the show.
Yeah, welcome.
Alan, before we dive into the tech side of things, tell us a bit about The Chinese Writer. What inspired you to start it, and what do you do day to day?
Okay, I was inspired to build this business to tackle what I felt was kind of like shortfalls in the education system. In particular, I feel that a lot of people are not actually well prepared for the world of work because there are a lot of things that you will not learn during your time at school. So I set about, creating a business that would kind of fill in the gaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for one, many people are too afraid to start their own businesses. I've gone through a very long journey just learning it myself and then sharing that knowledge with others.
Okay, that's great. So, for those who've never visited your platform, what kind of resources or experience do you offer?
Yeah, I do try to stick to one of my original goals, which is to make Chinese learning easier, more accessible to more people around the world.
Yeah.
Still feels stuck in its early phase, which is Chinese languages, Mandarin or Cantonese into English.
Yeah.
But my bigger goal is to eventually offer the high quality translation to basically every single language available out there, even the more minor, unheard of, say, dialects out there. I try to have that specialist knowledge available on my website.
That's interesting to hear. So, in the online learning space, especially for similar startups, the big trend of using DIY tech solutions to patch things together and with what's available to save money. From what you've seen, why do so many startups go down this path, do you think?
Yeah, there's a lot of freely available tools out there, particularly you will hear of no code solutions, which is definitely something that I use myself personally. The main advantages of using those tools is the speed. You can get up and running much faster than going the route of learning how to code your own website, for example, even though
Yeah.
I have also tried that route just to check out, well, more like market research on checking out how many people out there are technically proficient and would interact with website coding.
Yeah.
Only more, I say, specialist communities deal with that sort of thing. The average person never touches computer code at all.
Okay.
So that's something that I found out the hard way, but it was worth looking into. Yeah, right now I choose most of the very popular solutions, like WordPress,
Mhm.
various easy to use marketing platforms, the usual social media, Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah.
Um, this is the current state of how most founders will approach
Of course.
building their business if they don't know how to code.
Yeah.
um, it's
So,
gone all right though.
so you would say you've been down this route, so you've gone the DIY tech fixes route. So what kind of challenges did you come across on this route?
If I describe the DIY code it yourself route, I'm a very technical guy, and most people might not find this interesting, but I'm going to say it anyway. I'll say that when you're examining programming languages, websites, and stuff, I find even the most popular programming languages, such as PHP, which is used by Facebook, which is one of the most popular websites in the world, technical documentation is not beginner friendly, easy to understand. I was trying to find out how do you learn this programming language, and I found the resources incredibly hard to find. They are very well hidden, but they do exist. I searched around various places like YouTube. Yeah, the main thing that got my attention was, yeah, if you are coding your own website, you will need to learn multiple programming languages, HTML, CSS, JavaScript.
Yeah.
And this is very off-putting to a lot of people because there are huge differences between these programming languages,
Yeah.
but
100%.
you need to know all of them to put it all together to form,
Of
you know,
course.
websites that everyone
Yeah.
uses. But that's just me.
In other words, people need to be know what coding is and how to use softwares and platforms, which a lot of people nowadays don't know how to do. Am I correct?
That is correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it is very
Yeah.
difficult. That's why I understand
Yeah, I
why
think
people
a
don't.
lot of listeners will resonate with this because not everyone is so tech savvy these days. So it's just finding a platform that's already done for you. And yeah, it's easy to understand but nowadays not a lot of platforms are easy to understand. They're not, like you said, they're not as beginner friendly. So yeah, I think 100% a lot of the listeners will agree with that. Okay, so let's talk about the hidden costs then. When you take the DIY approach to tech, what kinds of issues creep up later, whether it's the learner experience or operational side or even scaling the business?
Well, yeah, obviously, with a lot of these DIY platforms, there is a lack of customization. They want you to use their specific template. You can change quite a lot of things, but if you don't code whatsoever, then these platforms will stop you from creating your ideal website, basically. I spent the first year of doing the Chinese writer on such a platform, and I was really infuriated by the fact that I couldn't do simple things that I could do with a code it yourself website,
Of
for
course.
example. And people were telling me, why does your website not feature this? And yeah, the platform was not able to uh, achieve the correct result that I wanted.
Yeah,
That's definitely a warning sign to
of course.
everyone out there.
Yeah. Okay. And have you experienced any of the costs firsthand, like from fixing things, security concern? Was there a lot of costs involved in that?
Technically, coding your own websites are in theory cheaper than a no code website. Although that's more to do with like if you're like a professional web developer. If you are the so-called indie developer, not really knowing it, then it may end up costing you more because you're going to waste more time.
Yeah,
Time is money in business. Yeah, you have to make the smart decision and go, yeah, does this particular website solution, no code or code, have the specific feature that people want? That's the
yeah,
main thing you have to focus on.
of course. And do you think the DIY tech can affect how investors view the credibility or scalability of a startup?
Now, I do talk to investors myself. I feel that, yeah, if you want to go for the big leagues, you will need to have some sort of coding knowledge.
Yeah,
Um, Everyone talks about AI and stuff. If you don't mention computer code at all, investors are not going to take you seriously.
Of course.
You have to have a bit of a technical background
Yeah.
to achieve exactly what people want.
Of course. Yeah. Okay. Great. Okay. So let's move on then. Looking ahead as a Chinese writer grows, how are you thinking about moving beyond the DIY fixes into something more scalable and professional?
This is something I'm currently trying to overcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel that I want to try to train up young people to be able to code international websites.
Yeah.
A lot of focus in the UK is local business, local websites, which means English language only, but the world has more than one
Yeah.
language. English is the primary language of business, but I'm focusing on a Chinese style business. Chinese language will have to be incorporated at some point.
Yeah.
To be taken seriously. I feel that due to my age range, a lot of people are working for someone else and not that deeply interested in joining my business. Although I have been talking to some people and they seem like they would be interested in joining my business, but unfortunately, I don't have the money right here, right now.
Yeah.
That's why I really need my investor to help me out financially.
Of course. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, my end goal is for my international.com website to be proper professional looking, competitive against all the big names out there.
Yeah.
Has to be user friendly. Lots of minor adjustments will be made as the years go on. So someone who knows a little bit of code will go, something's out of place. I'll correct the code here and there. That is the biggest benefit of a coded website.
Okay. Great. And if you can wave a magic wand and you had your number one biggest priority or a challenge that you want to fix now, what would it be? So, like your biggest challenge right now that you want to wave a magic.
Um, yeah, my biggest challenge for scaling my limited company is finding the person who does have the time to work with me almost full time,
Yeah.
discussing all my business related stuff like the technical programming, um, other things like I want to go ahead and make children's toys, which is a hardware side, electronics. It's very hard to find the correct talent here in the UK. The UK is mostly a service-based industry rather than heavyweight in the manufacturing world. But that's what I studied. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, Alan, this has been such an insightful conversation. I think a lot of startup founders will relate to what you have shared about the real cost of quick fixes. Where can people find you and learn more about the Chinese writer?
Okay. Yeah. My main website that I currently use is www.thechinesewriter, no spaces between the words, .co.uk.
Okay.
um, yeah. Although that's been the website I've been using since the very beginning.
Yeah.
For international appeal, I do have a .com version of that same website, but it's
Yeah.
unfinished. It's always a work in progress. I'm trying to find out what has broad appeal, but
Yeah.
you can
Okay.
find me there.
Great. Fantastic. We'll link it in the video description below. So a big thank you to Alan for joining us today. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, like, and share. Thank you.